Kevin, I don't know when you sleep. You can't make this up. Let me cut to my key question before we get wisdom from you. Secretary Tillerson, I believe, is the Secretary of State. What does he do with a president totally driven by, quote unquote, the deal? What does the secretary do?
Well, he has to work behind the scenes, such as the other cabinet members do, in order to try to bring about and decode President Trump's messaging. And of course, you saw this last night with Australia, with his tweets following the reports that call with the Australian government officials didn't go well.
It didn't go well, to say the least. I mean, there's a pattern here. There's a habit that we've seen, whether it's immigration or trade or what we observed 5 or 6 days ago. Do you see people at the White House beginning to retake the process from Mr. Bannon and, frankly, a deal-driven president? What is Mr. Priebus doing?
Well, I think Steve Bannon definitely has his own political apparatus. I think he has his own political structure. And I think that, quite frankly, he is going to be the point person on many substantial policy initiatives, including, most notably, infrastructure. I think that he is already putting together an infrastructure team. He is the infrastructure point person. As far as Reince Priebus goes, you know, I talk to senior sources inside the White House who tell me that right now Steve Bannon and Reince Priebus are speaking on the same page. They are on the same team. And so any notion that they're not getting along right now is just untrue.
Kevin, how are people reacting? How are the American citizens taking this? Do they care or not?
Well, I think definitely Americans care. And I can tell you that, Francine, on Capitol Hill, there's a concern, if you will, amongst Republicans that perhaps some of the messaging coming out of the White House needs to be a bit more crisp. Now, following the Supreme Court rollout, that eased tensions, if you will, that rollout compared with the executive orders over the weekend, which seems like a year ago. But slowly but surely, the Republicans that I'm speaking with feel like the White House is beginning to get a messaging strategy.
Right. Kevin, what do you make? So it's been reported that President Trump told the leader of Mexico that he might send U.S. troops to deal with these band hombres in the country. I mean, like, what do you say to that?
This is the bad hombres line is rhetoric that we heard on the campaign trail, you know, and so I think that, you know, look, the report is what the report is. People are going to take that and do what they want with it. But either way, this is a president who has no filter, if you will, and to say the least. And I think that, you know, the notion that he was threatening to have a war with Mexico is false. But the rhetoric that he used, you know, I think the report says what it says.
That's a very nice report. Kevin, one final question. What should we look for today?
Today, keep looking on Capitol Hill. Keep watching to see whether or not there's going to be any more Republicans, people like Senator Murkowski from Alaska, who are going to begin to crack against any nominations. The White House is adamant that Republicans will hold together and that there will be no more cracks in opposing any nominations. But if that happens, that's a blow to the White House.